Hello everyone, welcome back to the Power BI project tutorials. This video is in continuation with the introductory video for the customer analysis. So in this video we are going to start working with the data set. I have already imported the dataset into my Power BI. This dataset is present in the form of a CSV file. So I would be providing you with this dataset. Once you've got the dataset, all you got to do is go to this get data option. From here you have to select CSV and then click on the location where your dataset is residing and then click on the dataset, and this kind of a menu would be shown to you. This means that Power BI has loaded this dataset. Now what we need to do is we need to make some changes into this dataset. Why we need to make those changes? Because as you can see, there is this column of customer ID which is of no use to us, right? We don't want this column at all. It cannot provide any value to us, so we have to remove this column. Secondly, we have to merge this name and the surname column into a full name column, or just basically a name column, to get an easy access to the data, removing the redundant columns. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to create a new column that is going to be the age category column. As you remember, in one of our visualizations we had the age category from 30 to 40, 20 to 30, like this. So that is the column that we need to create. Apart from this, we have to check for any of the inconsistencies if it is present in the dataset, like if any of the null values are there. So we are going to remove them as well. So this is the process of data cleaning, and that takes place in a Power Query editor. To load the data directly into the Power Query editor before working with it to create visualizations, we need to use this option of transform data. So we can just use this option of transform data and it would open the Power Query editor for us. It may take a few seconds, so you've got to wait for that much amount of time, and once the whole process is done, the data would be loaded. Now we can start performing the operations. The first operation, as we discussed, is to remove the customer ID column from here. Okay, so how do we do that? Whichever column you want to remove, make sure that is selected. Either you can right click over here on that particular column and there is this option of remove. So you can either use this option or you can just select this option, go to this home tab, and here is this option of remove column. You can use that as well. So either of the options you will do would perform the same step, right? Now whatever changes you do in your data would just be done for this particular data. Your original data set is as it is. There is no changes that would be done in that particular data set. Because Power BI creates a copy of the data set for itself, and all the manipulations that you do are done on the copy of the data set, and the original data set remains as it is. So if at any point in time you want to refer to the original data set, you can just go to your computer's memory and refer to that original data set. The second thing is, whatever steps you have applied into your dataset are shown over here in the applied steps column. If you want to undo any of the steps, like I just removed the column, so there is this option of remove columns. I want to remove this step, like I want to just delete the step. There is this cross option. You can just use that option and this column comes back. So this would help you to keep a record of what changes you have done in your data set, right? Again, I've removed the column. Now what I'm going to do is merge these two columns together. Okay, so for this I have to select multiple columns. You can do that using control click, just like this. Then go to the transform column option, and here is this option of merge columns. So you can just go to this merge column options, and it would ask you for a separator. So I'm going to take space as a separator. That means name space surname. Then it is optional, but you can provide the new column name. So I'm just going to provide it as customer name, not full name but customer name. Okay, but that is a personal choice. You can provide anything that you want and click on OK. Now once you do that, you can see customer name is the new column that we are getting with the values merged together with a space. Now if you just go onto this option, this drop down, we would get a hand of all of those values. The next thing that we can check is for the null values. If any of the null values are present in any of the data set, it is present at the first option only, that is just below the select all. So you can just check for all of these values if any null are present, and as you can see, there are no null values that are present, right, in the region as well. So instead of region, what I'm gonna do is just change it to country, or let's just keep it as region, because we are having Wales and other islands which are not actually countries, which are regions only. Okay. Then we have job classification, which is going to be this only. The date joined is good. No null values, and the balance is also good. Okay. So from this we got information that the minimum balance that the customers are maintaining in our accounts is 21.03 pounds. Okay. Since the data is from Europe, so we are going with pounds. And the minimum age of the customers is 17 years, while the maximum age is 64 years. Okay. So what I'm going to do is create a new column that is going to be taken from the age column, and that is going to categorize the age, right? Like the first category is going to be from 17 to 20, because that is the minimum age that we are getting. Then it is going to be from 21 to 30. Then it is going to be 31 to 40, just like this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is create a new column. So for that we need to go to this add column options. You can just go here, and what I'm going to create is a column from examples. There are two ways through which you can create that. First is a custom column. Now what happens in this custom column is that you need to write code, the DAX query that you need to write. So that is a little bit complex process. We are not going to go into that. We are going with an easy one, that is just through the GUI based solutions. We are going to create a new column for us, and that is through column from examples. You can just go to from selection option. Now what would it do? It would create a new column, and you can provide the sample values for it. Okay, just like we are getting 21 as the age, so that is going to be included in the 21 to 30 category. Okay, next we are getting 34 as the age, so that is going to be included in the 31 to 40 category. So as you can see, 31 to 40. Now what happens is this Power BI would automatically predict the values for the rest of these values, right? The range values for the rest of the age values, as you can see. Now what changes we can make is in the 17 age. So here is this 19 age. Instead of 11 to 20, we can just change it to 17 to 20. Okay. Now if I can just find out any other age value, so we can just change it as well. Okay, as soon as we did the change, so it is getting some kind of a problem with us, so we can just provide some more sample values for it to recognize the values, right? If it is 31, 32, so again it's going to be 31 to 40, just like this. Okay, now it has taken all the values into account and we are happy with it. We can just click on OK, right? Now what happens is we can just change its column name into age group. And the thing is that whatever operations we added, whatever formula we added, if you just go to the previous step and onto this drop down, then we would be able to see this particular formula. In the case of the custom column, we had to add this particular formula, like we had to type this whole formula. That would be a little bit complex, like we had to go very deep into the programming concepts of the conditional statements, if else statements, and the syntax must be correct and everything like that. So instead of doing that, we just used a simple step, that is through a column from example we created a column, right? And that is the age group column. Now if you just go to this age group column, you will see the possible values are 17 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50. Okay, so this is what we are getting. Suppose we just go to this age values, right? Let's just cross check it once. Like if there is any kind of a discrepancy, we can just remove it. We can just uncheck all and get a age value that is greater than 50. Let's say suppose 52. Click on OK. So what we are getting over here is in the age group 41 to 50. So there is a discrepancy over here which we need to combat. So how can we do that? Let's just see. We can go to this particular option, and here we have this over here. Okay, if age is greater than equal to 46, then it is taken it as 41 to 50. So we can just say that if the age is greater than equal to 42, then we want that 41 to 50. And actually it's going to be in the else if category, because the if part is going to be something different. Like we had another age group like 51 to 60. If age is greater than 52, then we can just write it as 51 plus, okay, and then we can just write as else if age is greater than equal to 40 and this, okay. Just put a space over here and that would do the trick, okay. So now if you just go to this filtered row options, then you can see for 52 plus we are getting 51 plus written over here, okay. We can just remove the filtered rows. The reason why we did that, because it is from 51 to 64. So instead of creating a category for it, we have just created that it is 51 plus, okay. So this is what we are getting. Now once you have made all the changes into your dataset and you are happy with it, you can go to the home tab. If you want, you can just change the name of the dataset into this properties section. So let me just change it to bank, simple bank for better understanding, and then you can click on this close and apply button. So it is going to close the Power Query Editor and apply all the changes into the dataset. Now whatever changes that you have applied would be visible to you in this fields section over here, okay. It's going to take a few seconds to apply those changes, then you would be able to work with those changes. So as you can see, it's going to take a few seconds, and once it's done, you will see this bank over here with all the columns just like this. So we are going to work with all of these columns to create visualizations for us using the Power BI desktop, but that we would start from the next video. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.